We are here with Juan Enrique, who is a metaphysical speaker, unity minister, diksha giver, and spiritual coach. How are you this morning?
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
How do you define spirituality, and what does it mean for you on a personal level?
Good question. We are body, emotions, mind, and spirit. What we call spirit is that part of us that is invisible. We don't see it. But it is the essence of who we are. It's our energetic self. And in that relationship, what we call spirituality, how we can allow this invisible part of us, the spiritual self, which is always a constant of life, of harmony, of vital life force within us. How we can allow that to inform the emotions, the body, and the emotions. Why? Because during our life journey, we have taken on beliefs, thoughts that tend to put a shadow on the essence of ourselves. And so that which we are is not fully expressing. So the spiritual journey is all about coming into awareness of who we are in truth, and then allowing that to express fully in our lives. That's why we talk about spiritual practice, because we need to change the mentality, the way we come to life, to allow that to happen as fully as possible. It's a lifelong journey, obviously, but it's an essential part of living life as a human being, because it is a reflection of who we truly are.
Could you explain the metaphysical interpretation of the Bible and how you would use it as a basis for your content?
Well, you notice that in my channel, I always put a reference of a Bible reference. I try to take every message and I join it with a Bible reference. And I do that because many people have come to the Bible for inspiration, and they have a certain way of looking at it. But to me, the metaphysical interpretation of the Bible is where we take what is written there, written centuries ago, and see how it expresses on our inside, our belief system, who and what we are. The metaphysical interpretation says that which we see on the outside is just a reflection of what's on the inside. So the metaphysical interpretation will help us understand these spiritual ideas and spiritual principles at a very personal level for us today. And so, even though the Bible was written centuries ago, the essential message, the metaphysical message, is something that is always going to be relevant to us today. That's the beauty of it. It is so powerful to be able to look at life, not only the Bible, but to look at life at a metaphysical level, because we know that what's happening on the outside is a reflection of what's on the inside. And so we can live life, let's call it at a metaphysical level, understanding that everything is reflecting the beliefs and the thought systems that I'm holding inside, which help me come to understand where it is that I need to change, release, let go, lift up, all these wonderful words that we have, to come into a fuller understanding of our essential self.
What practices do you recommend to realize the maximum human potential?
Great question. In my channel, I almost every week make reference to prayer and meditation. These are the essential tools in our spiritual toolbox. Meditation is that ability that we have to be able to be with the essence of who and what we are. It's a moment in which we can let go of all of the outer conditionings, all of the inner conditionings, and connect with the essence of being. This is where we come to know that I am one with life. I am one with God. I am one with creation. It's an experience that lifts the soul, that changes the mind, that helps us understand ourselves at a much deeper level. And prayer for me is that very important spiritual tool that helps us see, I see something happening in my life that I don't like. I'm having some thoughts, I'm expressing some words, I'm doing some actions that could be better. What do I need to do? Prayer is that recognition of where we are emotionally, mentally. It says, okay, this is where I am, but I know that my spiritual self, my essence, is at a much higher level. I'm going to use the tool of prayer to help me release these very sometimes negative emotions, kind of lower energetic vibrations, to help me come up to a higher understanding of what I am. So those are the essential tools that I make reference to in the channel that I use personally in my life.
What would you say is the biggest difference between meditation and prayer?
Well, like I say, meditation is that ability that we have to really touch the essence of being. Mm-hmm. It's that ability that we have to take a deep breath and to just know who and what we are. It is a practice. It's a lifelong practice. But it is an important part of coming to an understanding of the experience of being. Prayer is a more practical tool of overcoming the limitations that we have, of seeing where we may be stuck, where we may be low, and engaging in a conscious process to lift up our understanding.
Thank you.
Okay.
What are some of the biggest challenges you face when creating content on spiritual topics, and how do you overcome them?
My daughter always says to me, "What are you talking about this week?" And she says, "The same thing again, God?" And yes, it's a challenge to come up with topics, but the challenge is this. Life moves forward. If you're conscious about how you're moving forward in life, you're always going to receive information that lets you know, boy, I'm kind of limited here. Things aren't working out as well as I would like in this dimension of life, my relationships, my prosperity, my health. And like I said, if we live on a metaphysical level, we're going to see that what's on the outside is a reflection on the inside. So it sparks an interest in saying, geez, I need to do something about these limitations, these beliefs. What am I going to do? And so the challenge for me in coming up with content is a challenge in simply looking at myself, seeing where I may be stuck, where I may be resisting, where I may be not quite surrendered, or where I need to forgive, or all these wonderful things, and be able to apply that in my life, do the work myself, observe the results, and then comes the challenge of being able to explain it, mm-hmm. and to offer some practical guidance for people to be able to do that in their own lives. These spiritual principles are universal. Everybody can apply them. The challenge is applying them to myself first, and then being able to have enough clarity to say, well, I'd like to explain this to other people, and I'd like to offer some guidance in how to do that in your life.
Could you recommend some resources for viewers who are interested in exploring spirituality in more depth?
Absolutely. The first resource is watch this channel every week.
Right.
Right. You got to see the channel, because every week we take one little topic and we try to go in depth about that. So first of all that. But then again, we have in this time and age such a blessing to have so many authors, speakers, videos, books, chats, groups, churches available to us to help us come into an understanding of who and what we are. Obviously, everybody is going to choose their own path, but here's the essential journey. The essential journey is to come and understand that we have taken on in our life certain limiting beliefs. It's the human condition. It's part of who and what we are. It's the way we were raised. It's the collective consciousness. That's the challenge. Now, being able to see those limiting beliefs, those emotions that keep us stuck, the resistance that we have, the lack of surrender, the lack of forgiveness, whatever it may be able to see that and to know that there's a higher truth, there's a higher potentiality, there's a higher way of living, and there's a way to get to that expression. If you have that conviction, then I'm confident that you'll use videos like these, books, channels, therapists, all kinds of ways to be able to release the subconscious blocks that we have to the full expression of ourselves. So the resources are almost limitless in our world, okay? It's just a matter of having that clear understanding that this life expression, which seems kind of limited, maybe sometimes dark or challenging, there is a way through. The light is always present, no matter how dark it is.
Well, thank you for sharing with us this day. And thank you. Everyone should subscribe to this channel.
Subscribe!
Thank you.